It's senior night in Hyrum as the Mountain Crest Mustangs play host to Ridgeline on the Game of the Week on the Valley Channel. Last game of the year, well, last regular season game of the year for the Mountain Crest Mustangs, who are on a little bit of a winning streak and come into this game at 6-2. The problem is they're hosting a team that's #1 in the state in 4A. And coming into this game 8-0. Ridgeline is a machine on both sides of the ball. They look like the complete package. But Mountain Crest, a little bit of a throwback type team, right? They like to just punch you in the mouth, play good solid defense, like to run the ball and just wear you down and put the ball in the end zone. And that's what's happened. And they're off to a 6-2 start, trying to get to 7-2 and get themselves a home playoff game and a first round bye. Preston Arambell will have a lot to do with that for the Mustangs. He's a running back averaging more than 100 yards a game. Can he do it against Ridgeline, and can they pull the upset? We'll find out on the Game of the Week. I had a chance to talk with Coach Ryan Visser this week about his Mountain Crest team and going into the game against Ridgeline and the playoffs without their starting quarterback, Braden Larson. He broke his collarbone, his left collarbone, in the first quarter last week against Logan. Brady Muir, the sophomore, stepped in and he said, you know, he was one of the few kids that stayed calm in that game, is what Coach Visser said. He said he had his head on straight, he led us to the win, did enough to win. And this week he feels like they've had a chance to kind of get over the shock of losing their initial play caller and getting back to Muir. And he feels like, hey, we've got a chance this week against Mountain Crest. They want to slow the game down. They want to shorten the game. He said this week our motto has been 3.5 yards per play for 35 seconds. We've got to keep that Ridgeline offense off of the field. We'll see if 35 is successful tonight on the Game of the Week.
Say the word base.
The Game of the Week on the Valley Channel is brought to you by Wendy's of Cache Valley. It's way better than fast food. It's Wendy's. Cache Valley Hearing and Audiology. Bring back what you have been missing. Aspen Dental. Get that gorgeous smile you've always wanted. Custom Fence Company. Privacy, security, peace of mind. Anderson Seed and Garden. Growing better gardeners. KSM means music. Music is all we do. And the Valley Channel, Cache Valley's TV station for over 30 years.
Hello and welcome to Mountain Crest High School in Hyrum, where the Mountain Crest Mustangs play host on senior night to the Ridgeline Riverhawks. Ridgeline #1 in 4A and in the RPI, one of the top scoring teams in 4A in the state and the #1 defensive team in 4A in the state. Ridgeline will get the ball first. They've scored over 120 points in their last 2 games combined. And they're going to get that buzzsaw offense out here immediately. Senior night for Mountain Crest. 18, 19 seniors. Only 6 seniors on this Ridgeline team. That is a problem for the rest of the region. 21 juniors, 25 sophomores, 3 freshmen. And of those 3 freshmen, at least one of them starts. This kick's not going to make it to the end zone. It's taken at the 7-yard line. And advanced up to about the 23. That's where Ridgeline will take over Nate Daly.
The quarterback leading them out. White the leading rusher, Livingston the leading receiver. Mountain Crest wants to shorten this game. They want to take away Graham Livingston. And what a big task that is for the Mountain Crest defensive backfield. Zane Pickup is on Livingston right now. And they are shading the safety that way. They say, look, we're going to try to take him away. And bless them if they beat us with somebody else. Flags fly before the first snap. As Ridgeline might have been moving early. Mountain Crest lined up off sides. Ridgeline, I've seen Ridgeline at home this year. I haven't seen them on the road. They did something interesting. They came out from the far side and they walked all the way as a team, 2 by 2, with carrying their flag around the field out in front of the Mountain Crest sideline. Now the Mountain Crest players weren't out here, but the Mountain Crest students were giving them an earful, and some of those Ridgeline players were gesturing right back. This is a hot rivalry. Of course, Ridgeline made out of Mountain Crest players. White turning the corner, turning on the Jets, and all the way down to the 30-yard line. 40 yards by White on the first play of the game. That was another key that Coach Visser from Mountain Crest said, we have got to limit their explosive plays. They go for 6, 7, 8 explosives, plays over 20 yards per game. Well, they do it on the first play of the game. Right there. 3 receivers to the far side. Crew Jones, the super sophomore, at the top there. See if they'll look for him. Daly looking for somebody, goes underneath instead. It's caught on the run. Heading for the end zone and a touchdown is Cook. Flags back near the 15-yard line. Let's see what the call is. If it stands, it's a 31-yard touchdown. Pitch, catch, and run. And it's an illegal block in the back on Ridgeline. So it's going to back him up. It's going to only end up being a 2-yard penalty. Instead of a touchdown, it'll be 1st and 2. The Mountain Crest trying to limit the explosives, and the first 2 plays from scrimmage were explosive for Ridgeline. White in motion, fake it to him, they're going to be a double pass. Livingston's got a man wide open at the goal line. Touchdown, Ridgeline, as Knighton was uncovered. 23 yards.
So we'll keep it up here. Flag on the play.
There's a flag that came after the touchdown. Unsportsmanlike, or a sideline warning maybe. Unsportsmanlike on Ridgeline, and so that'll be assessed on the kickoff. As Aaron Young is in there for the PAT. Kicks up, kicks good. And with 11:28 to play in the first quarter, Ridgeline 7, Mountain Crest nothing on the game of the week.
Ridgeline 7, Mountain Crest 0.
Hey, you want to learn how to play drums like this? Yeah, go to KSM Music. Yep, they offer lessons for a wide range of instruments, including guitar, bass, drums, piano, ukulele, and more. You'll learn how to play the In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida drum solo, just like this one. Well, maybe, if you've got it in you. At KSM will teach you. So Mountain Crest gives up the touchdown. They wanted to shorten this game on both sides of the ball, right? They want to run the ball. Their motto this week was 35, 3.5 yards per play, 35 seconds to run each play, and keep this Ridgeline offense off the field, and they were hoping to maybe make Ridgeline have to run the ball to make them take time as well, but it didn't take them much time at all to get into the end zone. 11:28 to play in the first quarter. And Ridgeline up 7-0. Took them 3 plays to get to the end zone. Short kick going to be picked up at the 39-yard line and returned by pickup up near midfield. It's going to be about the 46, 47-yard line. And that's where the young quarterback, Brady Muir, number 12, will come out and bring his Mustangs. The guy to watch is number 1, Preston Arambell, the senior. 125 yards last week rushing. He had 30 yards, and then all of a sudden you look up, he had 125. And he'll probably get a steady diet of who the other guys call the Ram. And there he goes, into the secondary. In fact, that's not Arambell, that's Dylan Bust. 25 yards for Bust. So Mountain Crest answering with an explosive play of their own. Muir is on the sideline, so he's not playing right now. It's Bust in at quarterback. No, Bust is, it's Arambell. They're running kind of a wildcat with 3 backs. And now they're sending Micah Clements off. I don't know if there's an equipment problem or what, but they bring Zane Pickup in. Basically 3 backs in the backfield. Arambell, Bust. Bust is running at quarterback. He follows Arambell and Huerta. And he follows him for 8 yards. And now Bust will come to the sideline and get the play. So the sophomore Muir is on the sideline as they start with 3 running backs. Actually, they're running Bust at quarterback, so. But the way they've said they're going to run this, I doubt Bust will put it in the air. There's 3 backs right there. Who do they snap it to? Straight to Bust, and he's going to keep it. And it's student body right. He tries to get around the corner, and this time Ridgeline is there after a gain of only a yard. It'll be 3rd down and a yard. Third, about a yard and a half.
3rd and 2 for the Mustangs.
So Huerta and Arambell were in the backfield. Arambell's coming off. Bust is playing quarterback. Plenty of time on the play clock. Now they're under 10 seconds. Bust is going to keep it, picks up a block, stood up right at the sticks.
Bust again on the carry. Hit initially by number 1.
Let's see where they spot it. He may have been there. Knighton comes up to make the tackle. I don't know if Bust can throw it, but Ridgeline is creeping up, creeping up, creeping up. See if they try to toss it now over their heads. It's a 1st down for Bust. And the Mustang drive keeps going. I mean, this is just a street fight out there right now. They are just pounding each other as they run right in the middle. As Aaron Bell picks up 3. His first carry of the night. The ball now at the 15-yard line. 8.5 minutes to play here in this first quarter. Mountain Crest has had the ball now for 3 minutes. They trail 7-0. As Ridgeline took 3 plays to get downfield and score on their first possession. And a little bit of a change up. They're not going with Brady Muir at quarterback. They've got Bust in there, and they're running the ball. Aaron Bell takes it on the Wildcat. Aaron Bell turns the corner, puts his head down, and picks up a first down.
And that's good for another Mustang.
So nothing fancy by the Mustangs. Aaron Bell will come off on 1st and goal. Actually, he's not going to come off. They're going to give him the play, and he's going to run it back in there. So Bust lined up at the quarterback the first few snaps. Now Aaron Bell, the last 2, has been taking the snap. And Mountain Crest taking their sweet time. Again, they want to keep Ridgeline's offense off the field. And the clock not running for some reason. They got to take a timeout. The game clock stopped on that run and never started. The play clock was. And Mountain Crest calls a timeout. They may need to look at that game clock because there's no reason that should have stayed stopped. 7-0. Ridgeline. Mountain Crest knocking at the door. Seven 0 our score here. Ridgeline leading, Mountain Crest threatening. And for some reason, the head officials stopped the clock after that run. I'm watching the clock, wondering why it's not running. Got a chance to talk to the folks running the clock here and said, "Hey, we're watching the white hat." And he stopped the clock, and he's never wound it. And that's true. He never did the arm motion to wind the clock. And so it's 1st and goal for Mountain Crest with 8:08 to play in the first quarter. Snap it to Bust. He tries right up the middle, and there's nothing there. And a flag comes as the whistles were blowing, and they took Bust to the ground. Didn't need to do it. And now that's going to put the ball down at about the 5-yard line, maybe inside the 5. And it is a personal foul. Half the distance, puts it at the 4-yard line. The Ridgeline gives up 5 yards on it, and the Mustangs inside the 5. And they'll go back to their battering ram offense.
Second and 5 for the Mustangs.
2nd and goal from just inside the 5-yard line. Everybody up for Ridgeline. Bust runs into the line, picks up maybe a half a yard.
Initially by number 51, Easton Hammond.
And now it's 3rd and goal. And from where they spot it,
3rd and goal.
they gained about half a football. So Bust will come to the sideline. Mountain Crest has been hanging on to the ball since about the 11.5-minute mark. They've burned off more than 4 minutes. They've got a makeshift clock out here because the regular scoreboard had a glitch in it and it couldn't get up and running, so they've got another clock out there that's running in the north end zone. 3rd and goal from the 4. Bust trying to find an opening. Bust turning the corner, and he's down inside the 3-yard line. Let's see where they spot him. It'll be 4th and goal. And they're going to put him right at the 2-yard line. 6 carries, 39 yards for Bust. And Mountain Crest has come this far, trying to just pound the ball. Looks like they're going to do it again. 20 seconds on the play clock, and they'll run it right down. They're not in any hurry. Huerta comes in. Bust out. Folger in the backfield. They're going to go right up the middle, and they're not going to get there. Ridgeline plugged all the holes. Mountain Crest came all the way downfield from the 40, their own 47-yard line down to the 2-yard line, and couldn't punch it in. 1st and 10, Ridgeline. Mountain Crest doing exactly what they wanted to do in this ball game, but they just couldn't get it into the end zone. So now they'll try to defend, and they've got 98 yards to defend. And Ridgeline's the kind of team might just go right up on top on 1st down here. Who cares? Who cares if we're snapping in our own end zone? Somebody move for Ridgeline. That's going to back them up a yard. So Ridgeline now has 3 penalties for a total of 8 yards. They had an illegal block in the back that was downfield, so it ended up bringing it back a couple of yards. Then they had a 5-yarder, and then that one was a 1-yard penalty because it's half the distance. A holding or a penalty in the end zone on the offense is a safety. Keep that in mind. Turn and give it to White. White went 40 yards on his first carry, and he goes about a yard on this one.
Brought down by Hyrum. Gain of a couple, 2nd and 9 for Ridgeline.
Muir is over on the sideline warming up. He did not play at all at quarterback on that first possession, as they just basically did a wildcat all the way down the field. Toss is a little bit high by Daly. He's looking for Cook, and it's 3rd down. First 3rd down tonight for Ridgeline. They lead 7-0 with 5:24 to play in this first quarter. Mountain Crest drove it from their own 47 down to the 2, couldn't punch it in. And now Ridgeline has it 3rd and 9 at the 2. They spread it out with 4 wide receivers, and you can hear the crowd making some noise. They're sending guys long. Daly grabbed from behind, and down he goes. He had a lot of running room, but then coming up from behind was Carter Egbert to take him down right at the line of scrimmage. No gain for Daly. Egbert, the leading tackler on this Mountain Crest team, 91 tackles coming into this game tonight. And that was a big one there because Daly had a lot of running room in front of him. So the Mustang defense holds on 3rd and 9. And Ridgeline will punt from their own end zone. This one's not going to go far, and Mountain Crest will just get away. Takes a good roll for Ridgeline all the way to the 45, but the Mustangs will come back out onto the field with 4:28 to play in the first quarter, trailing 7-0. We'll see if they send Muir out as quarterback. They do. So they use a wildcat type of look on the first possession. Now they send Muir out at quarterback. And they line up in a spread look. With Arambell on Muir's left hip. And they're just going to go ahead and let that play clock run down under 10 before they start the cadence. And they're going to put it in the air. Outside they go to Clements. Clements picks up 4. This game's going to be a game of patience, right, for both teams. For Mountain Crest, they're going to have to stay patient and execute what they want to do. Ridgeline needs to stay patient in how they defend and stay honest, because you start turkey necking into the backfield and expecting run every play. Mountain Crest has the guys to go over top of you, particularly Clements, that just caught that last pass. Had a 67-yarder last week at Logan. Muir going to put it in the air again. This one just a little high and wide of his intended receiver, who's not on the roster. Passy, I believe. Third down. There's a couple of 10s up there, no 9s, but I think that's Passy. Third and 6. Flippins goes in motion. They're going to fake the give to Arambell. Muir gets rid of it. Down goes Clements. In come the flags. He turned to make the out cut, and the defensive back, Perry, kind of just ran through him. Perry was closing on him really quickly and just kind of ended up running over top of him. Let's see if that gives Mountain Crest a first down. They're going to call holding on the defense. And if it's 5 yards, let's see, they're giving them the first down. A few years ago, they changed pass interference. That's a 10-yard penalty. They changed pass interference to not a automatic first down. So if it was 3rd and 75, PI didn't give you a first down, but if it was 3rd and 13, you know, it would. So 1st and 10 for Mountain Crest as they continue this drive, trailing 7-0. Now they give the ball off to Arambell. Arambell grabbed from behind by Crew Jones. Crew Jones is a sophomore, but he looks like a college sophomore. He's being recruited all over the country. 2 yards for Arambell. 4 carries, 12 yards for Preston Arambell, the senior. 124 yards on the ground last week. Leading rusher for this team, 929 yards in 8 games. 5.4 a carry, 10 touchdowns, going against the #1 defense in 4A tonight, and they split him out. See if Muir keeps it. He's going to put it in the air. Throws it underneath to Passy. Passy can't get away from the tackle, and it ended up going to be a loss on the play as he's tackled for a 1-yard loss, 2-yard loss. So now it's 3rd and 10 for Mountain Crest. Two minutes to play in the first period. 7-0 Ridgeline. Both teams have had the ball twice. Ridgeline scored on their first possession. The Mustangs got down to the 2-yard line on their first possession. Couldn't punch it in. Muir's in trouble. Muir looking down the field, middle of the field. He's got a receiver and he can't come up with it. It was Flippins, and it got tipped by the linebacker, and Flippins trying to make the adjustment. Had it in his hands, but couldn't come up with it cleanly. He would have been short of the first down, or very close, and now it's 4th down. Muir 2 of 4 for 2 yards. Down on the sideline listening in is Braden Larson, the junior, with that broken collarbone. It's his left arm, left collarbone. And he had surgery the day after the game. And they're hoping that if they make a deep playoff run, he may be able to come and play. Well, one of Ridgeline's defenders stood up and slid over, and it got Mountain Crest guard to come up out of his stance. So the Mustangs now with 2 penalties for 10 yards. Now it's 4th and 15. And do you want to give it to Ridgeline right here if you don't pick up the first down, or do you want to try to pin them back? Coach Visser, I think, knows that you're going to need every point you can get against this Ridgeline offense with 1:48 to play in the third. And they have to take another timeout. They're taking their time. They're doing that on purpose. But that time, they took a little bit too much, and they had to get a timeout before the penalty. 7-0, Ridgeline leads Mountain Crest. Less than 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. Hey, you know, with the right branded products, you're not just top of mind, you're part of the adventure. Boost your brand image, connect and communicate with fans, prospects, and customers for a lasting impact by going to the Logo Shop to have them logo your items with your logo. The Logo Shop, we logo stuff, all kinds of stuff. In other games tonight, Logan's playing at Cedar City, and it was 26-3 Cedar City. Last score we had from that game. We'll check that and see if there's anything that's been updated. 26-3. That game started earlier than this one. That was in the fourth quarter. Mountain Crest on 4th and 15. Muir, pass rush coming, unloads and throws over his intended receiver's head. Cale Olson turned at the sticks, and the ball went sailing over his head. 4th down. No conversion. Ridgeline takes over at their own 41-yard line. Muir 2 for 5 in the early going. And Ridgeline's offense with a lot more space behind them and a lot less space in front of them this time. They started their last possession at the 2-yard line. Their own 2. This time they're out at the 36. Stacked receivers to this near side. White alone in the backfield with Daly. Daly's going to toss it over the middle. Quick hitter to Knighton. Knighton still on his feet, and he picks up 13 yards. So hard to defend that. It just hits so fast.
Brought down by several Mustangs. Number 2, Roman Funkin on the tackle. Picking up 1st and 10 for Ridgeline.
Two catches, 36 yards, and a touchdown for Knighton as we approach 1 minute to play in this first period. Livingston, the inside receiver to the top of your screen. We'll keep an eye on him as they send Knighton in motion. Livingston's running down the seam, but Daly's running for his life. Can't find him. Gets his feet under him, tosses it down the sideline, and incomplete. The Mountain Crest got a hold of Daly on the last possession. Caught him as he was trying to get out of the pocket for what would probably have been a big run. And this time they get him off of his spot and make him run to his right or his left. It's one of the two. I had a 50% chance of getting that right. With 55 seconds to play in the first quarter, it's 2nd and 10. Livingston and Cook split wide. White's in the backfield, going to give it to him off a low snap, and he's swung down. Flag comes in. The tackle made by Cash Sellen. But a flag came in just as the ball was snapped. See if Mountain Crest lined up offsides again. They did it earlier in the game. Nope, it's on Ridgeline. So the penalty bug biting the Riverhawks here in this first quarter. That's their 5th penalty. Mountain Crest will take it, 2nd and 15. Mountain Crest with linebackers up in those A gaps, 3 down linemen. Here they come. White tries to kick it outside. He picks the penalty yardage back up. And he ends up being a run of 6. It's 3rd and 9. 3 carries, 47 yards for White. His first carry went to 40. Mountain Crest trying to get Ridgeline off the field again. 20 seconds to play in the first period, 23 on the play clock. Jones is your tight end to this side. Motion man is Clark. They slide in underneath it. Clark just walloped after a gain of 4, and he's still down. So it'll be 4th down. I believe it's Clark that's still down. There's no time showing on that first quarter clock, but they haven't told us if it's the quarter yet. And now they're taking his helmet off, so he may be down for a minute. Ridgeline has stayed remarkably healthy this year. And you hate to see these young athletes getting injured, but this one doesn't look good. We mentioned that Logan and Cedar City score. 26-3 at the start of the 4th quarter. Green Canyon is at Bear River tonight. Westfield is at Skyview. Cedar City ended up beating Logan 33-3. That one has gone final. Green Canyon leads Bear River 21-0 late in the first quarter. Skyview late in the first quarter leading Westfield 20-0. Oh, they're bringing the card out for him. That's not good. So we think it was the ball carrier, Cooper Clark. And we haven't seen what they're working on. One of his extremities there, one of his legs. They're going to get him up, and now they're going to carry him to the cart. We hope he's going to be okay, and they're going to use that as the quarter break. So they're going to start the second quarter here with this next play, rather than take a full quarter break. They've got both teams out there. They've swapped the field. And we'll hope that Cooper Clark going to be okay. They're going to take him off on the cart. They helped him up and they assisted him to the cart, so it looks like it's some sort of lower leg injury. 7-0 as we get ready to start the second quarter. Ridgeline leads Mountain Crest. Hey, Wendy's doesn't want to brag, but their breakfast burrito eats other burritos for breakfast. Fresh cracked eggs, seasoned potatoes, your choice of crispy bacon or grilled sausage, all rolled into a warm tortilla. It's that good. It's Wendy's breakfast burrito. Wendy's Game of the Week sponsor. So it's 4th down and 5. Short 5, long 4, and Ridgeline has their offense out there, and they're going to go for it. Leading 7-0. Mountain Crest bringing 4. Dowley looks underneath. They're not going to get it. Livingston needed 5. He ran a 2-yard pattern, and he was put down unceremoniously shy of the first down. Zion Folger putting it on him. Livingston's first catch of the night. And Mountain Crest takes over, still trailing 7-0, trying again to make their plan tonight was to make this a rock fight. As Coach Visser said, we want to get them into a rock fight. He said, I don't know if they've been in one this year. And we're going to be physical, and we're going to take it to them, and we're going to try to shorten this game. Huerta in the backfield, Passy in motion, and they're going to run it with Buse. This is what they did on the first possession of the game, running kind of a wildcat look, and flags coming in after the play. It's a gain of 7. And I think Hammond may be rung up for a penalty. Let's see, unsportsmanlike conduct on Ridgeline. Yeah, Easton Hammond was back there tangling with one of the Mustangs. They threw the flag. And Hammond pleaded his case, saying that the other guy said something too, but they always catch the second guy. That's a 15-yarder for Mountain Crest. That gets them inside the 35 to the 34. That's 6 penalties now on Ridgeline. And we've played a quarter and 17 seconds. Arambell following, trying to turn the corner. He does. Still on his feet, down near the marker, and let's see. He's going to be about 2 yards shy, an 8-yard run by Arambell. They're just trying to get numbers, right? They're lining up 3, and now we got a flag on the far sideline. And it looks like they're going to call something against the Ridgeline sideline, at least a sideline warning. That's what they're doing. One of the Ridgeline coaches was hot after that play, and he kind of stepped out and hollered. He didn't come out on the field. I was looking right at him. He stepped toward the field, hollering something. Flag came out, and they ran the sideline warning. 2nd and 2. Again, 3 in the backfield. And they're going to come this way with it. They're going to throw it. Bust looking downfield. Clemens stopped his pattern. Clemens at the 10-yard line. I don't know if he was coming back for it. I don't know if they were on a different page with each other. If he would have kept running, he might have had a chance at 6, but he kind of broke his pattern off. And it's 3rd and 2. We were wondering if that's what they were going to end up trying. And there was their opportunity, and they just weren't on the same page. Because they're lining up those 3 backs all together in the backfield. They're snapping to one of them. Then 2 of them act as lead blockers. They just try to get numbers, more guys than you can block. And right now that would be to the left. And let's see if that's the direction they go. They're going to run it back to the right. They give it to Arambell. He gets right to the 25-yard line. He's going to be short of the first down by about half a yard. Knighton comes up to make the stick, and it's 4th and 1. Mustangs again taking their time, trying to keep Ridgeline's offense off the field. Under 10 seconds on that play clock. 4th and 1. Passy in motion. He tries to block down, misses his block, but it doesn't matter. Buse turns the corner, has a seam, picks up 5 and a first down on 4th and 1. 8 carries, 50 yards for Buse. Operating as the quarterback, you've had Buse, then Muir a couple of times. Now we're back to Buse. Buse has only thrown 1 pass. The rest have been runs. He's run it 8 times. Arambell's their bell cow. He's run it 6. They didn't wind the clock again there. We saw this earlier in the game. They stopped the clock for the first down, and then the white hat never wound it. And they did it again. Right up the middle go the Mustangs. That time the Mountain Crest sideline coaches saw it, and they turned around and are yelling. But the guys up here running the clock, their job is to watch the guy in the white hat. He's the guy that tells them when to stop the clock and when to start it. Second and 8 at the 19-yard line. Mountain Crest got it down to the 2-yard line of Ridgeline earlier, not able to punch it in. Now there's student body right. They cut it up inside and turn in the corner. Folger turns around, kind of puts his hands up and says, hey, why aren't you following us? Why'd you turn it up inside? And that looked like maybe there was some room outside, and the runner decided to turn it up in, and Ridgeline's got another player down at the 20-yard line. That play ended up going for maybe a yard. But the two lead blockers were out front with nobody to block. But they had left their runner behind, and he thought he saw a cut because nobody had hit that. There was a contain man that came up. And the blockers didn't see that. They just turned around and wondered, why are they running up inside? And so Ridgeline, again, we talked about how they've been healthy this year. And now they just had one player that had to go off on a cart. This player, I saw him, he started toward the sideline and then he laid down and he kind of arched his back up like he was maybe trying to stretch his back or something. And they help him up and he's going to walk off on his own. And that's Landon Perkins. And he seems to be walking okay, but he kind of went down on his own, kind of laid there for a minute, and then kind of like arched his back up like maybe he was trying to stretch his back. And he may have just taken a helmet. And now they've got Muir in there. So you get Ridgeline thinking pass, and then maybe you run some kind of delay or go. And they're going to let that play clock run right down. They don't even start getting into their cadence until they're about 10 seconds, and there's still 15 seconds on that play clock. They snap it at 10. Muir is going to put it up over the middle into traffic. Clements was running free. And Clements was coming across from the backside. Muir, if he was looking for Clements, he put it too far in front of him. If not, if he was looking for the receiver on the next level, that guy was triple covered. So I'm not sure where they were going with that one, but it falls incomplete. And the Mustangs, with a couple of opportunities, go by the wayside, and they look like execution type of problems, and they'll have to work on those as Ridgeline takes a timeout with 8:24 to play in the first half. 4th and 8, Mountain Crest lining up for a field goal when we come back. From humble beginnings to a leader in the fencing industry, discover the journey of Custom Fence as they continue to deliver excellence and innovation in every project. Custom Fence serves multiple states. They offer all sorts of fencing solutions, everything from residential projects to things as big as airports and prisons they've done. They can do it all. Visit CustomFence.com for a quote. Custom Fence, a Game of the Week sponsor. Well, when I talked to Coach Visser and I asked him, hey, offensively, what do you need to do? And he says, well, Ridgeline's good. They're big, they're fast, athletic. They're a complete team. We got to commit to the game plan and shorten the game and take up time, and that's what they've done. They've done a pretty good job of sticking to that game plan. Now they're trying to get some points on the board. This one's got enough length, and it's good. Well, the Mustangs are on the board with 8:20 to play in the first half. Ridgeline 7, Mountain Crest 3 on the Game of the Week. Do you remember when bread was made naturally? At Old Grist Mill, they bring back that tradition. Their bread is made with fresh milled high protein wheat for that rich flavor. You can go try a free slice of bread and you'll taste the difference. Old Grist Mill's Logan's home for quality bread and more. The Old Grist Mill, a Game of the Week sponsor. 8:20 to play in the first half. Ridgeline leading Mountain Crest 7-3. Mountain Crest's motto tonight's been 35, 3.5 yards of play, 35 seconds to run them to try to keep Ridgeline's offense off the field, and it's kept the game close so far in this first half. Trouble with the kickoff by Jackson Lindsay. He has to go back and pick it up as he muffed it originally, and he stopped at the 16-yard line, and that's where Mountain Crest will start defending this Ridgeline offense. Talked about the Ridgeline offense. 93 total yards for that much vaunted Ridgeline offense. 76 for Mountain Crest. It has been a defensive battle. Daly fakes the give, got guys in his face, got a man downfield, it's Jones, but Jones had to turn all the way around to try to find that. He couldn't locate it, and it's incomplete. Second and 10. Ridgeline, Skyview, Mountain Crest, Green Canyon. There's 4 teams in this region that can really make some noise in the playoffs. I think Ridgeline, the favorite. Mountain Crest, I think, is a dark horse that's running under a lot of people's radars. Here's JT White getting to the edge and picking up 6. His best run of the night since that first one that went for 40 yards. 4 carries, 55 yards for White. And it's 3rd and 4. Ridgeline is 0 for on 3rd downs. Knighton and Livingston to the near side. 1 receiver to the far side. Actually, there's 3 to this near side as another receiver comes over. They run that trips. They're looking underneath. They ran a little pick play and they got it. Cook picks up the first down as he picks up 10 yards. Cook 2 catches, 12 yards. And you could, as you watched it come this way, the Mountain Crest defensive coaching staff could see it coming. One of the coaches put his hands on his head. Oh no! And they ran just kind of a little pick with those receivers and took Cook underneath. Daly found him. And Cook turns it up for a first down. The first 3rd down conversion of the game for Ridgeline. 6:55 to play in the half, and Ridgeline now tight splits and a pound the ball look, and that's what they're going to do. Give it to White. White slips 1 tackle, but not the next 3. 2 yards for White. I said earlier, this is a hot rivalry. It was really hot for the first 2 or 3 years, so much so that school officials were really trying to tamp down the temperature. It was a little bit of an acrimonious split between Mountain Crest when Ridgeline was formed. I think we can talk about this now, right? Everybody knows it. Things have cooled down a little bit, not a lot. And Ridgeline's number 1s. They've got a target on their backs, and everybody's going to give them their best shot. 2nd and 8. 3-man rush. Daly unloads, has a man out there. Picks up big yardage, and it's Livingston.
Daly's pass complete to number 1, Hunter Knighton. Pushed out of bounds by number 33, Zane Pickup. First down.
21 yards and a first down. So Ridgeline leading 7-3, under 6 minutes to play in the half. The Riverhawks looking to put it in the end zone again, trying to get some sort of offensive rhythm going as the Mountain Crest defense has made it tough on him. 3 yards for White. 6 carries, 70 yards for White. His first carry went for 40. Check that, 6 carries, 60 yards. So he's averaging 10 yards a carry. Okay, Livingston's your receiver down here, the bottom of your screen. Knighton just inside him, 2 receivers to the far side. White in the backfield with Daly. They're going to send Jones in motion. Hand it off to White. He follows Jones, has a good block, turns the corner, gets pulled down by Constantino. Constantino saved a big gain. It's going to be 3rd and a yard.
Brings up a big 3rd and 1 for Ridgeline.
Ridgeline now 3rd and 1. They're 1 for 3 on 3rd downs. Livingston to the far side. Pickup up in his face. And they've got the safety shaded that way, and Ridgeline calls a timeout. 4:17 to play in the half, 7-3. Ridgeline leading and looking for more on the game of the week. All right, my producer's asking me how am I doing on Stump the Gen Xer. I know this one, but the name's not coming to me because I'm a Gen Xer and I'm losing my mind. You know what'll make you lose your mind? The pizza at the Factory Pizzeria. Step into the Factory Pizzeria in Logan for a dining experience like no other. Enjoy the laid-back vibe with exposed brick walls, live music, the best hand-tossed pizzas around. Whether it's a casual night out or a special occasion, the Factory's unique atmosphere makes every meal memorable. Come for the food, stay for the vibe at the Factory Pizzeria. What'd you say? Can't he? I don't. You're making stuff up now. Now you're just making stuff up. All right, they got those tight splits again up front, making it look like a run play, but they got Livingston man on man to the bottom of the screen. They're going to fake it and go up top. Livingston has 2 steps on everybody. Touchdown. 33 yards on 3rd and 2. He just ran by 2 defenders. He worked on his speed in the offseason. He is the complete package. I know Utah State offered him, and I had somebody say, he's not big enough, he's not fast enough. You don't know what you're talking about if you think that. Graham Livingston is fast enough. Great hands, great route runner. There's a reason D1 schools are looking at him. There's a reason he's one of the top receivers in the state. And he's part of the reason that Ridgeline leads Mountain Crest 14-3 with 4:11 to play in the half. Anderson Seed and Garden has their holiday decor out. Yep, I'm not kidding. They got the best holiday decor inspiration in town. Decorated trees, lights, and more. Go check out what you can do to turn your house into the best holiday house on the block at Anderson Seed and Garden. Check out their website, andersonseedandgarden.com. You know, Coach Visser said we want to try to hold them down on their explosives, right? Those explosive plays. We want to limit them. They get 5, 6, 7 of those per game. That's plays over 20 yards in the first half. Ridgeline with 1, 2, 3 explosives. 2 passes over 20 yards and 1 run, and that pass counts as one of those explosives. Mountain Crest making them work for it. Sometimes Ridgeline seems a little bit like Thanos. They are inevitable. So the Mustangs have had a couple of really good drives that have taken up time, gone down deep into Ridgeline territory. Twice they've gone deep into Ridgeline territory. Once getting all the way to the 2-yard line, but they only have 3 points to show for it. So they need to finish a couple of drives if they don't want this game to get away from them. Mountain Crest will get the ball to start the second half, and your dream scenario if you're the Mustangs with 4:11 to play in the half is go on a 4-minute, 11-second touchdown drive and then get the ball back to start the second half. A yard for Arenberg as Muir back in there at quarterback. So they kind of alternate between that 3 backs set and then a traditional quarterback set. Now they're back to Muir. And the sophomore off to a 2 for 6 start for 2 yards. And he just hasn't looked all that comfortable. Second and 9. Setting up a screen. Muir can't find anybody, so he just throws it down at the feet of one of his linemen. They were trying to set up a screen, but there was nobody to throw it to. So Muir just kills it. And the official's going to talk about it and call a grounding play. He put it at the feet of one of his linemen. There were There were no pass receivers there. And it didn't get past the line of scrimmage. There was no grounding call, so it's 3rd down and 9. 3:19 to play in the half. Muir up under center now. Double pass. And they throw it over the head of Passy. Clements. He got sped up, right? You hear that that phrase sometimes. Then they can get a quarterback sped up. Pressure will speed a quarterback up. And Clements caught the ball, and there was somebody closing in a hurry. And so you could see he was hurrying to try to get it downfield to Passy. He got sped up by the defense. And Mountain Crest pulling out all the stops, trying to stick with Ridgeline. And it's 4th and 9. Down goes the punter, out comes the flag. And Ridgeline may have given up another penalty. Another first down by penalty. Booth was in there. And if that's a roughing the kicker, a 15-yarder instead of a 5-yarder, that's a first down for Mountain Crest. And they're going to talk about it. He definitely ran into him. Let's see the call. If it's running into the kicker, it's just 5, but it's a rough, it's 15. He didn't indicate personal foul. So let's see what they mark off here. Yeah, they're marking off 15. Ridgeline will have something to talk about at the half. They'll have plenty to talk about at the half, but they'll have to talk about keeping their penalties down. 7 penalties in this first half. You know, you can't let that stuff go. You get into the playoffs, you get down to where you're playing the win or go home. You don't want to be giving the other team more chances. Arambell and Huerta in the backfield. Arambell out of the backfield. Now they pitch it to Huerta. Flags fly, and they stop the play. Like they're blowing it dead, so half the people are stopping, half the people are running. What do we got? Illegal shift. So that'd be a 5-yard penalty. I mean, my goodness. We're struggling a little bit here. They threw it halfway through the play, then somebody started blowing a whistle, and Huerta stopped. Then he got taken to the ground on the sideline. Then everybody was mad because of that. I think they're going to decline it, and it's going to be 2nd down, so it's a minus yards run for Huerta. Loss of 3. Arambell from the eye, nowhere to go. Landon Perkins, who had to be helped off the field earlier, came screaming through there and met Arambell in the backfield. Nobody even put a mitt on him. And it's a loss of a yard for Arambell, and Ridgeline takes a timeout trying to save some clock. 2:27 to play. Ridgeline defense simply irresistible. Well, we've been playing the music game here, and we do every week. If you're old enough to recognize this music, well, that probably means you listen to it loud and you're old enough to recognize this music, which means you probably may need to be thinking about going to see Dr. Paul Daines at Cache Valley Hearing and Audiology. Improve your life and the lives of those around you with today's hearing aid technology. Dr. Paul Daines will customize a hearing program just for you. Don't miss the joys of life. Call Cache Valley Hearing and Audiology for an appointment today. Robert Palmer, do I have to, I'm in the last year of my 26-year contract. Do I get a new contract if I get all of these right? Okay. I got the last one wrong, so. Third and 14 for Mountain Crest. They trail 14-3. 2 of 5 on third downs for the Mustangs. 0 for on fourth down. And they're not going to get it off. They come out of timeout and then don't get the ball off before the delay of game. That's the thing that keeps coaches up at night. I mean, they want to take their time. But not to get to the penalty. That would be, if they got the timeout, then that would be the last timeout of the half for Mountain Crest, I believe. So they didn't get the penalty, they got the timeout. Third and 14, Sager split to the bottom of your screen, 2 receivers on each side. Muir whips it out. Clements looked like they were going to run a hook and ladder, but Aaron Bell wasn't out there. So it's a gain of about 5 on third and 14. It really looked like they were trying to set up like a hook and ladder play, but the running back wasn't out there. And if that's the case, you know, we've seen some execution gaffes by the Mountain Crest offense tonight, and they're talking about it. Clemens and Aaron Bell are talking to each other about it. And that's not something you're used to seeing out of this Mountain Crest offense. They usually have it all together. But you know, they're running some different stuff this week. Ball through the hands of the punter. He tries to kick it away, and they run right into it. Down he goes, and the ball recovered by Ridgeline at the 20. The wheels are coming off for the Mustangs. Good snap, and it went right to the punter. It was right in his hands, and he just dropped it. And then when he tried to pick it up, he looked up at the rush, and he dropped it again. When he tried to kick it, they were already on top of him. First down at the 21 is where they spot it for Ridgeline. They lead 14-3 with 1:21 to play in this first half. Just a nightmare last couple of minutes for Mountain Crest. And it could break this game wide open. Daly has time. Now it runs out. Spins around to buy some more time. Flings it downfield to Livingston, who catches it inside the 10-yard line. There's a flag on the play. There could be, are there linemen downfield? Is there holding in the secondary? What could it be? It's an ineligible man downfield. When you're running around that long, that's usually what the call is. Those linemen just kind of keep working downfield. The quarterback's back there running around. And if you get more than 2 or 3 yards downfield, you can't on a pass play as a lineman. You can't be down there. And that's tough in their defense. That's tough when the quarterback's trying to keep it alive. You just kind of naturally work your way downfield. 1st and 15 as Jones goes in motion. Turn and hand to White. White's got room off the right side. White stumbles over the 15-yard line, or he might have gone. 12 yards for White. 8 carries, 78 yards. Under a minute to play now in the first half. 2nd and 3. Daly throws it out there and then thrown out of bounds after a 3-yard gain is Cook. And he was thrown down unceremoniously, and they're going to say he's short. He's short of the first down, 3rd and 1. Daly's going to keep it on the RPO, and they're going to pull him down for a loss. Back at the 12-yard line, he loses a yard. And that's it. The clock runs out on Ridgeline as they were hustling the field goal team on. And that's it. We're heading to the half. Ridgeline 14, Mountain Crest 3 on the game of the week.
I want to succeed in athletics, but I also want to succeed in school, and I also want to help my family and my community. And so I think through being balanced and juggling all these things, it leads me to fulfill those wants and then be happier because of it.
You're trying to get the in order to have a fulfilling and well-rounded life, you have to do a lot of different things.
She goes to her classes and she does her sports.
I don't really know how she does it. She goes there every day, which is like a smile on her face.
I think everyone can have a drive, but it's the people that actually choose to feed this hunger are the people that stand out. Your hunger to win has to be bigger than anybody else's.
If she sets her mind to it, she's going to accomplish it, and I have no doubt about that. Whether it's she needs to drop 3 seconds on her time, she needs to get a better grade on her math test.
Bill is just one of those people who, whenever I see you do anything, you always have this drive.
There's a drive there that comes from wanting to be everything that her mom set in motion in the first 13 years of her life.
My mom was one of my closest friends, so she had such an immense impact and influence on my life that when she died, my whole world was kind of turned around.
She was heartbroken, as you would imagine. She knew she had all these little ones looking to her. She was only 12 years old, but she became the person who was handling it.
I'm trying my best, I guess. It's been hard. She was such a big part of my life, but I'm doing the best I can.
She's a beautiful runner. It's just amazing to watch her run.
She's a tremendous sister, tremendous daughter, caring soul, remarkably proud of Jillian.
She has so much responsibility in her life. It's also amazing that she does it with such humility and grace.
When you lose your mom and your sister, you realize how precious every day is, and you want to make the most of every day. You sort of set high goals for yourself, and you sort of work to achieve them.
Sheer will and, passion and, but to get themselves there quicker than anybody else, to reach down deep, push through that pain, that both mental pain where you just want to stop, you want to give up, and that physical pain where your legs and your muscles are screaming, and just get yourself there.
The Game of the Week on the Valley Channel is brought to you by Wendy's of Cache Valley. It's way better than fast food. It's Wendy's. Cache Valley Hearing and Audiology. Bring back what you have been missing. Aspen Dental. Get that gorgeous smile you've always wanted. Custom Fence Company. Privacy, security, peace of mind. Anderson Seed and Garden. Growing better gardeners. KSM means music. Music is all we do. And the Valley Channel, Cache Valley's TV station for over 30 years. Back in Hyrum at Mountain Crest, the Mustangs trail Ridgeline 14-3 at the half. Eric Olson along with you as we take a look at the first half stats. Ridgeline took 3 plays to get into the end zone on the first possession of the ball game. They ended up with 87 yards rushing. Let's look at that again. 81 yards rushing. Who's writing this? 81 yards rushing, 107 yards through the air for 188 yards. Daly goes 8 of 11, 107 and a touchdown. 2 touchdowns. Mountain Crest, they hung in, and their stats, well, they tried to run the ball, and they ended up with 71 yards rushing. You know, that translates to, if you do that in the second half, you're over 140 yards for the game. That's not bad. But they only had 7 yards passing. Part of that was they only put the ball in the air 8 times. The other part was they only completed 3 passes, and one of them went for -2 yards. 79 total yards for Mountain Crest. They trail it 14-3. We mentioned some of the other scores. Logan lost earlier 33-3 at Cedar City. Long road trip for the Grizzlies. Longer ride home after losing by 30. Skyview leads Westfield at the half 42-3. Green Canyon late in the first half, the last score he had, they led Bear River 28-8, and UNLV leads Utah State 34-7. That one's still in the first half. A real barn burner going on up at the MAV.
ISS, Precision Painting, Logan Coach, Lowry and Associates, Bates Electric, Stuckey Chiropractic, Canyon Landscape, Blue Sky, JM Mechanical, the Book Stable, Tony Dorgetti.
Welcome back to the Game of the Week on the Valley Channel. Eric Olson along with you as we get set to start the second half. Ridgeline leading Mountain Crest 14-3. Mountain Crest's strategy is, their motto all week was 3.5 yards per play, 35 seconds to run them. Try to keep the ball out of the hands of this Ridgeline offense. And they've held Ridgeline to 14 points in this first half. Ridgeline, a team averaging, in region play, they average 51 points a game. And on the season, they average 43 points per game, only giving up 11 points per game. Mountain Crest averaging 28 points a game in region, but going against that #1 defense, they only have 3. Clements picks it up at his own goal line. Look out! Clements gets it up across the 35. He had what looked like a lot of room, and then Joseph Campbell came over in a hurry to close the door, but as it is, he gets up to the 37-yard line, and that's where Mountain Crest will take over, trailing 14-3. The Mustangs had some opportunities in that first half. They some uncharacteristic execution problems for them offensively. Just not on the same page a few times, just a step behind a couple other times. Trying to get around that corner is Bust. He's struck down from behind. So they didn't lock the back door, and Bust was chased down by, from the backside by Woodland. If you got people just coming free off that backside, especially like backers, defensive backs, whatever, you might want to chip them. And it's a loss of 2. He had running room out in front of him, but he got caught from behind. 10 carries, 49 yards for Bused. And the officials at the half requested that the play clocks in each end zone be turned off and that they would keep time on the field. They would keep the play clock, the 40-second clock, on the field. Don't know why. That's just what was requested, and that's what they did. And now the game clock has gone down. They had trouble with the scoreboard, couldn't get it up and running. And now the game clock itself, they brought in a little backup game clock that worked just fine in that first half, and now it's shut down. There's an 8th grader over there somewhere with an extension cord plug in his hand, twirling it around and around next to the wall outlet, giggling. And now they got it back up and running. And the officials are trying to tell them what to set it to.
Apologies for the technical difficulties. 11:26.
11:26 is what they're going to say is on the game clock. And they should run it. There they go. Athletic director Kevin Anderson he's earning his money here tonight. Those athletic directors, you know, making big money. You see them tooling around town in Maseratis and everything. Buse is going to throw to Passy. Passy comes all the way across, but there you see one of the things that makes Ridgeline so good, their speed. Livingston was one of them there. Gain of 3. But he came up like he was shot out of a cannon and stopped that play from going any further. And they're having clock problems again with that clock, the game clock. So there's no play clock. That was working just fine in both end zones. The officials asked for that to be turned off at the half. Again, not sure why. They didn't know why up here in the booth. They were going to keep time on the field. Now having some issues with the backup game clock.
Officials, can we get a time to put on the clock?
And one of the officials is going to make his way up here. Here he goes. He's coming around and going to come up, and we're going to figure this thing out. Whether it kills all of us. That's the worst, right? If you're the guy keeping the time, if you're the guy doing the clock, everybody's down in the stands looking up at and you're like, sorry, it's not my fault. It's not my fault this clock's not running. It's the worst job in the stadium tonight. That backup clock worked just fine in the first half, but having issues with it here in the second half, and now the officials have sent both teams to their sidelines. Well, now this is the version of Inagata Davida that I recognize. Hey, it's college football on Saturday, tomorrow, yeah. And at Wendy's, they've got a digital exclusive, the $5 Big Noon Saucy deal. 6-piece saucy nuggets, fries, and a drink for just $5 on the Wendy's app. Get the Wendy's app. Get the $5 Big Noon Saucy deal at Wendy's, a Game of the Week sponsor. Well, for the Valley Channel, we're about done. Well, with the regular season anyway. Skyview and Green Canyon will be our final regular season game of the year, and that's next Wednesday. Wednesday night at Green Canyon. We'll see if we can get the production crew, if they're recovered in time to to get out there to set that one up. And then the playoffs start, a couple weeks at home sites, and then they head down to U of U for the semifinals. Right now, and it doesn't start right now, things can change a lot in a hurry, but right now Ridgeline's top the RPI. Provo, Skyview, Spanish Fork, Crimson Cliffs, Park City, Green Canyon, Mountain Crest, Stansbury, and Desert Hills round out the top 10 in the RPI. So if the playoffs were to start next week and everything was to stay like that, Ridgeline would have a bye. Mountain Crest would have a bye. They'd actually have a chance to meet up in the quarterfinals if they were to start winning. I guess they're going to keep time on the field. I don't know. They're bringing the teams back out, which makes it difficult for us, but nobody really cares about that. So Mountain Crest on third down. They are 2 of 6. It's 3rd and 10. Muir unloads, and it falls short of Clements, his intended receiver. The people down below us, I'm sure you can hear them, are yelling for pass interference. Clements was trying to stop and come back to the ball. It was way short of him. The ball doesn't have to be catchable in high school for PI, but the defensive back was just kind of running along with him, and Clements tried to stop and go back. They kind of ran into each other. Buse is back to punt. Remember last time Mountain Crest punted, Ridgeline blocked it, got it at the 21, but they were unable to score.
Buse back to punt. Looks like number 13, Brady Cook, back to return.
5 up for Ridgeline. And they're only going to rush 3. Buse waits and then kicks it away. Cook takes it, falls forward to the 36-yard line. Now they're going to step back and put it on the 35. Let's see, we have 2 officials standing on the 35, 1 on the 36. They're going to put it on the 36. Clock's down. We don't know how much time's left in the third quarter. We do know it's 14-3 Ridgeline. And then we've just started the third quarter. 3 and out for Mountain Crest on their first possession. White taken down after a short gain. Egbert in there, 2 yards for JT White. This is a good barometer for both teams, right? Mountain Crest wanted to make this, quote, a rock fight, and it pretty much has been. They didn't think that Ridgeline has played that kind of game yet this season. And for Ridgeline, if they can come out with the win, then they know that, well, we're good at pitching rocks too. But Mountain Crest can keep it respectable and gets them ready too. Look out! Right over the middle to Knighton. 31 yards. And just like that, Ridgeline in business. Knighton, 3 catches, 67 yards and a touchdown. And there's another one of those explosive plays. Low snap, get it to White. White cuts it back up inside and picks up 5.
Tackled by a herd of Mustangs.
White averaging 8.5 yards per carry. His first carry of the night went for 40 yards. Cook to this near side. Knighton in motion. He's open underneath. They go the other way to Jones. Crew Jones rumbling down the far sideline. Steps out of a tackle, and they're going to say stepped out of bounds at the 12-yard line.
Complete to number 40, Crew Jones. Looks as though he stepped out of bounds.
14 yards. Got a first down.
Will be 1st and 10 for Ridgeline.
Jones' first catch of the night. He's 6'4", probably goes about 225, 230. They spread him out, and then they're going to hand it to White as they spread the defense out. White is going to fight his way down inside the 10 to the 6. Now, 7-yard gain.
White on the carry.
White approaching 100 yards. He's at 92 on 11 carries. Keep looking toward the clock to see how much time's left. We're not doing that tonight. Ridgeline looking to go up 21-3. They lead 14-3. We've played just a few minutes of this third quarter. Not sure how many as the clocks are down here tonight. They're keeping time on the field. White out of the backfield. Daly looking to throw over the middle. Has his man. Livingston is caught for no gain. You won't see that very much where Livingston gets caught when he's trying to run away from somebody.
Like number 5, brings up a big 3rd down for Ridgeline.
Clements on the tackle. Livingston's in the slot to the near side. Cook is outside of him. White's in the backfield. Turn and hand to White. Pops outside, got a big hole, touchdown. 6 yards and 6 points for JT White. So Ridgeline puts another touchdown on the board. It hasn't been easy for Ridgeline. They've had a hard time getting an offensive rhythm going, but that was a methodical drive downfield, and Young's kick is up and good. 21-3. Ridgeline leading Mountain Crest on the game of the week. Hey, did you know if you go to the Factory Pizzeria on Wednesdays, you can get $5 nachos and $5 wings? Yeah, $5 Wednesdays at the Factory Pizzeria. They got their Monday special. Buy a large 3-topping pizza, you get a free small nacho at the Factory Pizzeria. Oh, and you get 5% off when ordering online at the Factory Pizzeria. The Factory Pizzeria has the best deals and the best pizza in town. The Factory Pizzeria, a Game of the Week sponsor. Ridgeline, the top scoring defense in 4A, number 4 in scoring offensively. And points scored, Spanish Forks number 1, Park City number 2, Timpanogos number 3. And then comes Ridgeline. Ridgeline 100, I believe 124 points in their last 2 games. So if we add this one to it, you're 145 points in 2.5 games. Ridgeline's ranked number 1 in the Deseret News poll, number 7 through all classifications. Crimson Cliffs is number 2 in that one. Provo number 3, Spanish Fork 4, Stansbury 5. Mountain Crest spent some time in that top 5 and then lost to Skyview and dropped out. They're on a 3-game win streak, are the Mustangs, but they got an uphill battle tonight. And here's the best run in a while for Arundel, 10 yards. And that's something, right? Arundel's averaging over 100 yards per game, and that's only his 10th carry. He's got as many as Buse. They just haven't featured him. They're trying to change things up, and you wonder if maybe they'll go back to just more of a traditional offensive look and try to ride number one. According to his senior night bio, his nickname's the Ram. Grandma asked him why, and he said, well, it's because I run people over, Grandma. Here's a little give on the end around, up inside. Flippins out to midfield. He picks up 21 yards.
Number 21, Thompson Flippins on the carry. Huge gain on the play, dropped down by Charlie Booth.
Second longest run of the night for Mountain Crest. Buse had a 25-yarder on his first carry. Flippins with a 21-yarder there. And the Mustangs at midfield, they trail 21-3 midway through the third quarter. Two backs in the backfield, and they're waiting for the back judge to start counting. Give it to Arundel. Arundel bounces it outside. Arundel picks up 6.
Brought down by number 2, Braxton Perry of Ridgeline.
And you wonder with some of the problems Mountain Crest had in that first half, they moved the ball. They just kind of were off at times, right? They missed on a couple of plays. They just didn't work with the precision that you're used to seeing their offense work with. And you wonder if it's, well, they changed a lot of things. They changed their offense drastically this week, and just all you have is a few days to practice it. Now they go back to a more traditional offense. Dance with what brung you. Muir kicks it out to the edge. Breaking one tackle and working his way toward the sticks is Clements. He's going to be a yard shy of the first down. 3 yards for Clements. And it's easy for the guys to sit up in the booth and talk about, well, maybe the coaches should do this. No wonder the coaches don't ever want to talk to us. Actually, all the Valley coaches are great with us. Arundel gets to the line of scrimmage, and it looked like he might push forward for the first down, but somebody had a hold of his jersey and was pulling backwards, and he couldn't break that tackle. 4th and a yard. Big 4th down. 2 of 7 on the night for Mountain Crest on 3rd down. 0 for 2 on 4th down. This is a big 4th down for Mountain Crest. They can pick it up and keep this drive going. If not, they give it over at the 41 to a Ridgeline team whose offense looks like it might be starting to hum. They're just going to do a sneak. Nope, they're going to turn and hand it to Arundel. First down. And that gets the clock rolling again. And they don't have the clock's gone down here at Mountain Crest. They're keeping time on the field, so I'm assuming we'll know when the quarter's over. When they start going the other way, we'll know that we're in the 4th quarter. Ball at the Ridgeline 39. Pitch it out. Arundel gets to the edge and gets 2 yards. And another Ridgeline player on the ground. This one's Nathan Richards. It's 21-3. Ridgeline leads Mountain Crest in the 3rd quarter. Richards is down. He was holding his knee. We've seen one player already taken off on the cart. Earlier in this ball game, it was Cooper Clark. That's a big loss for them on both sides of the ball. And Richards was When he rolled over down there before they all came and ran around him, he was holding that, looked like that left knee. We talked about Cooper Clark going down. He was the #1 tackler on this Ridgeline team. So offensively, he catches a few passes per game, but he is the top tackler on Ridgeline's team. 65 coming into tonight's game, and he looked like he may have been hurt with an injury to keep him out for a minute. So Richards is going to head to the sideline with a little bit of help, and it's that left leg. 2nd down and 8 for Mountain Crest. They trail 21-3 in the 3rd quarter. They're keeping time down on the field. They've got the clock back up here, but they have to wait for the officials to tell them what time to put on it. For Mountain Crest, you may not be worried about that so much as just, you know, running your offense. They still want to shorten this game, but they trail 21-3. Tight splits and a run look with Muir at quarterback. Hand it to Huerta. Huerta tracked down from behind, knifing in and making the tackle is Landon Perkins. His linebackers are coming in untouched, and it's easy to get ahead of steam when nobody's putting a paw on you. 5-yard loss for Huerta. And again, you see that team speed that just makes Ridgeline so dangerous. A Ridgeline team with 6 seniors. '21 juniors, 25 sophomores. Muir over the middle, out of the hands of Clements and into the hands of Perkins. Perkins had 6, but the turf monster got him. Was it Perkins or Charlie Booth? It was one of the two, and then they stood up and saluted the Mount Crest sideline. That'll get them 15 yards. But the first turnover of the ball game. As Muir's pass goes off the hands of Clements, and on the tip drill, Ridgeline takes it back the other way. This will end up back at about the 36-yard line after the penalty. And the unsportsmanlike. Just a little showboating after. Okay, it's going to end up the 39-yard line. This is a bubbling rivalry, and it's going to get a little hotter after tonight, I think. Ridgeline leads 21-3. They've got the ball back off the turnover. Livingston in motion. They're going to look downfield for Livingston. No, they're going to look for Jones. He has to come back for it. Clements nearly takes it away from him, but Jones somehow gets it back. And it's complete for 20 yards. Everything going Ridgeline's way. Jones, 2 catches, 34 yards. Three wide to this side. Livingston's on the inside. Then Knighton, then Cook. Pitch it out to White. White waits. White waits for Hammond. Hammond makes the block. And White picks up about 4. White with 102 yards on the night.
Second and 6 for the Riverhawks.
Is that the quarter? And they take both teams to the sideline. One official points at his watch. I think that's the quarter. Clock's down here at Mountain Crest. Ridgeline working their way toward another score. They lead 21-3.
So at the end of the third quarter, your score, Ridgeline 21, Mountain Crest 3.
Those other games going on tonight might run pretty quick, as a lot of them were in running clock territory. Logan played earlier. They lost to Cedar City 33-3. Skyview leads Westfield late in the third quarter 42-10. Green Canyon 42-8 over Bear River late in that ball game. See if they got the clock working now. Ridgeline 2nd and 7. Working toward the end zone. White breaking tackles, picking up 6.
And out to White. Goes through a couple tackles. Eventually brought down by number 40, Carter Egbert.
It's been a rough game. It's been a tough game. Both teams really going after each other. It's been a very emotional one. It's the last regular season home game. Mountain Crest looking to have a playoff game if they stay in the top 8 spots in that RPI. Here's the give to White. He's got a first down on 3rd and 1 as he picks up 4. When you have a game like this, the way the RPI works, Mountain Crest could lose this game and still improve their RPI, because the RPI is based on your own winning percentage and then your opponent's winning percentage, then your opponent's winning percentage. Well, Ridgeline, they've got, they're batting 1,000. So their winning percentage is going to be great, and that's going to help you. Livingston went in motion. They throw it underneath.
Dowley's pass complete to number 13, Brady Cook. Ran out of bounds.
Cook picks up 9.
Just shy of the first down. Brings up 2nd and 1 for Ridgeline.
Cook 4 catches, 24 yards. Brings up 2nd down and 1. 10:40 to play in the ball game. Ridgeline looking to go to 9-0. Mountain Crest comes in at 6-2 and on a 3-game win streak. Trying to slow down Ridgeline. Something that nobody's been able to do. Dally unloads. JT White out of the backfield, steps out of a tackle, picks up a first down.
Dowley's pass complete to number 23, JT White. Run out of bounds and number
Picks up close to 10.
Good for a Ridgeline first down.
White's first catch tonight.
1st and 10 on the 12-yard line.
Ridgeline can pick up a first down just inside the 2. As the ball's at the 12-yard line. Cook to this near side. Livingston to the far side. White in the backfield. Jones is the tight end on the right side. He's got a halfback behind him. See if they run up behind there. Now they send that guy in motion, and they're coming back to it. Pulling the guard. Hammond, who kicked out, but backfilling was one of the Mustang defenders, and he limits White to a yard.
Hit hard by number 40, Carter Egbert.
Egbert with another tackle. Egbert, the leading tackler on this team for Mountain Crest. 91 tackles coming in. And we've called his game a bunch tonight. He may be over 100 in 9 games. Got to be close. Under 10 minutes to play in the ball game. Ridgeline trying to go up 28-3. Dally whips it in there, and it's too hard for his receiver, and the ball falls incomplete, and then the flag comes in late. Now the defensive back tackled the receiver.
There is a flag on the play.
I didn't see anything wrong with that. Did they say he got there early? I mean, that went off the receiver's hands. That looked like perfect timing by that receiver, and it was the official on the far side holding. So he may have had a hold of him as he made his break inside. That official's back there along that back line. He'd have a better look at that backhand of that defensive back. That moves it down to the 5-yard line, and it's second down. For Mountain Crest, only their third penalty. And it to White. White's got an opening. White bowls his way in behind Easton Hammond for a touchdown. His second of the evening. Hammond's got D1 offers, been offered up at Utah State. Be interesting to see if they can get more of these guys now they're in the pack, however many it's going to be. Young's kick up. Young's kick good. 9:48 to play in the ball game. Ridgeline increases their lead, 28-3, Riverhawks. KSM Music has the best deals and service in the Valley on band and orchestra rentals. You know, when the new semester comes up, you need to rent some instruments. KSM's the place to go. First month free, no commitment, return or exchange anytime. Repairs are included in the rental. And there's quality name brands as well. KSM Music, Game of the Week sponsor. Well, it was 14-3 at the half. Ridgeline leading. Mountain Crest was hanging in there with their shorten the game strategy. They'd had a couple of opportunities themselves to keep the game closer that they hadn't been able to convert on. And now here in the second half, Ridgeline's put a couple more touchdowns on the board. And defensively, I got to think Mountain Crest defense is probably wearing out a little bit. They've been on the field a lot in this ball game, and especially in this second half. They have been making Ridgeline work for every yard, but that makes them work too. Mountain Crest has moved the ball. Again, their first possession, they got it down to the 2-yard line. Looked like maybe they were going to have a chance to tie it up. They gave it over on downs. They got inside the 25 another time and couldn't convert. Flippance. Another end around, no gain. They got 21 yards the first time they tried that on their last possession. That time, Ridgeline was looking for it. Mountain Crest came out in the first half running kind of a wildcat type. Bust was at the quarterback. He had two backs back there with him, and they'd have extra blockers and just try to really pound it, and it worked well for a bit. Ridgeline made some adjustments, and now Mountain Crest trying to do it with a traditional offense. Muir moving around and throws it incomplete. 9:05 to play in the ball game. And Muir and the Mustangs are going to be looking at 3rd and 10.
3rd and 10 for the Mustangs.
Muir 5 of 11 for 13 yards. They just haven't been able to get the passing game going, but that hasn't been their goal. Now you're down 28-3. You kind of have to start putting the ball in the air. In the spread look, 2-by-2. Aaron Bell's going to stay in the block. Jones coming through. Clements has it go through his hands. Livingston's got it, and he's got some running room. Livingston working his way to the far sideline. Livingston, pick six.
Here's pass intercepted by Livingston. Flag on the play.
That was a tip drill. It hit at least 2 players. Livingston found it, picked it off, and took it back 55 plus yards for the score. And that's the dagger. Flag comes out, a celebration penalty, I'm sure. And Ridgeline's on for the PAT. Sideline warning on Ridgeline. That's the second one. So if there's going to be they're going to walk it off, it'll be on the kick. That's the second one this evening. So Livingston with his second touchdown of the night. His first defensive touchdown. The 5th defensive touchdown of the season for Ridgeline's defense. They're giving up 11 points per game on the season, 10 points per game in region play. They've held Mountain Crest to 3. Ridgeline 35, Mountain Crest 3. 8:47 to play on the game of the week. Hey, this one's Yes, owner of a Lonely Heart. Just so you know, got that one there. And I know that because, well, I'm Gen X, which means I'm getting up there, right? I listen to this music, kind of getting a little older. I listen to it loud. That means I probably ought to think about maybe giving a call to Cache Valley Hearing and Audiology, where they offer personalized hearing care tailored to your needs. From evaluations to hearing aid fittings and protection, choosing the right professional is key. Dr. Paul Danes is that professional. Protect and improve your hearing. Schedule a consultation with Cache Valley Hearing and Audiology today. It doesn't help that I've been wearing these headphones for 32 years. Crowd noise, everything else. I've been married for that long, which means I can't hear voices on a certain frequency, or a voice on a certain frequency. Little squib, the penalty on the touchdown gives Mountain Crest a chance for a return, and they're going to start at the 49-yard line of Ridgeline as Zane Pickup, one of the seniors on senior night, takes it on the bounce and returns it up to the 49. The Mustangs looking for the end zone for the first time tonight. They trail 35-3, 8:40 to play in the ballgame. 32 points. That was it, 34 for a running clock? We should know this. We just had one a couple weeks ago. Ridgeline was involved in that one as well. Here's Aaron Bell picking up a couple.
Number 1, Preston Aaron Bell on the run.
Aaron Bell is such a tough runner. 15 carries, 45 yards tonight. He hasn't been able to break one against this Ridgeline defense. He only has 1 carry for negative yardage, and that was for -1. Muir looks for Clements, who's been quiet tonight.
Pass complete to number 5, Michael Clements.
5 for Clements.
Tackled by number 2, Braxton Perry, and number 5, Charlie Booth for the Riverhawks.
That's his 4th catch, but only 17 yards. Again, you got a sophomore making his first start out there at quarterback. And you're trying to protect him maybe a little bit from, again, 4A's top-ranked defense. 7:30 to play in the ball game. 35-3 Ridgeline. Give it to Arambell. Arambell gets into the linebackers. Picks up 3. It'll be 4th and a yard and a half.
Initial hit by number 30, Brenton Erickson.
2 of 8 for Mountain Crest on 3rd downs.
Will be 4th and 2.
And they're 0 for on 4th down. Well, wait, they got one on their last possession. Arambell picked it up, if I'm remembering right. It's 4th and about a yard and a half. Muir calls for it. Whips it out there to Passy. He's got the first down. 6 yards. And another set of downs for Mountain Crest.
Passy, number 22, Ryder Johnson on the coverage. And that's good for another Mustang.
3 catches, 7 yards for Passy, his longest of the night. They've thrown to him near the line of scrimmage most of the evening. When they have thrown to him those first 2 times. This one they went downfield a little bit. He was tackled immediately. Clements to the near side, and that spread look, 2 by 2. Arambell in the backfield. Muir's going to throw it. Slings one out for Clements. Clements can't get there.
Muir's pass intended for Micah Clements.
Running stride for stride with him was Braxton Perry. Would have had to have been a perfect throw.
2nd and 10 for the Mustangs.
And the Mustangs now at 2nd and 10 with 6:12 to play in the ballgame. Next Wednesday, we're at Green Canyon. Skyview at Green Canyon. Both those teams working their way toward a win. Arambell on the delay. Looks like he had a lot more than he ended up getting. He picked up 4. Again, the Ridgeline defense just closes in a hurry. 3rd and 6.
3rd and 6 for the Mustangs.
Pickup comes into the ball game. Kale Olson comes out. Passy at tight end. Pickup going to split white to the far side. Well, Passy's going to be in that slot. They're going to send Flippance in motion, fake the give. Going to run the screen underneath the Clements. It did not fool Ridgeline. See who it was. He stayed home. He was right there. Made the tackle. That was Landon Perkins. Landon Perkins has played a whale of a ball game tonight. We've called his name a bunch, and that's a 2-yard loss.
Backs it up to 4th and 7 for the Mustangs.
4th down and 7. Under 5 minutes to play in the ball game. Muir against a 4-man rush, throws another interception. This one picked off by Perry. Perry making his way down this near sideline out to the 46-yard line. Mountain Crest had played a clean game till the last 2 possessions, and they've thrown 2 picks in their last 2 possessions. And Ridgeline will take over again, leading 35-3 with 4:40 to play on their own 46-yard line. See if Ridgeline calls off the dogs or they leave those starters in there. It has been acrimonious enough of a game that I wonder if they'll keep the starters in there. All the starters except JT White are in there. I know White's coming off that injury last year. Travis Cox told me once, I look up and realize, man, I've used him more than we want to. Now they've got Lindsay in there and they hand it to him. Lindsay picks up 4.
Number 33, Jackson Lindsay on the carry.
Ball right at the 50-yard line.
Gain of 4 on the play.
And I'd be really surprised if JT White's not done for the night. Just, you got a big lead, let him rest. You got Daly in there. That's, I guess, the surprise, right? You got Daly and Livingston in there. I'm seeing a couple other players in there you don't see as much. Hunter Shawley is split to the top of the screen. Turn and give it to Lindsay. Lindsay falls forward for a couple more. It'll be 3rd down and 4. Ridgeline 2 of 6 on 3rd downs. It's a little deceiving. They went for a couple of 4th downs and didn't get them, and did. Mountain Crest bringing 5. They lay it out there and it's caught. Caught by Woodland.
Good catch by number 4, Jeff Woodland.
17 yards.
Good for Ridgeline, 1st down, 1st and 10 on the 30.
208 yards now for Daly on 16 of 19. He's only missed 3 times, is that right? Wow. Those are unofficial stats. 2:49 to play in the ball game. Ridgeline 35-3. Going up top. Livingston fighting for it. He's got it. And they're going to say touchdown. 30 yards. Daly put it right on him.
For another Ridgeline touchdown.
5 catches, 85 yards, 2 touchdowns for Livingston, and he's got a pick 6. Now we're in running clock territory with 2:34 to play. Ridgeline 42. Mountain Crest 3 on the game of the week. Well, you're not going to stump me with U2. That's my favorite band of all time, In the Name of Love. Pride is actually the name of it. It's about Martin Luther King. Speaking of things we love, saucy nugs at Wendy's. Devour them for yourself. You'll soon discover how flavor-packed, lick-smacking, and ridiculously saucy these nugs are. Big, bold flavors. Spicy, sweet, savory, saucy. They're all the things. And you can only get them at Wendy's. 4, 6, 10, and 20 piece saucy nugs at Wendy's right now. It's off the Unforgettable Fire album. Great live version. Another short kick. Pickup picks it up. Runs it up to the 34. That's where Mountain Crest will take over.
Tackle was number 40, Brandon Erickson. 1st and 10 for the Mustangs. Take over on the 34-yard line.
I don't think that Mountain Crest has been shut out this season. I'm going to have to, not shut out, but kept out of the end zone this season. I'm going to take a look real quick here. They have not. 15 is the least amount of points that Mountain Crest has scored so far this season. That was in a 15-14 win against Box Elder, the 2nd game of the season. They've got 3 tonight, and they trail 42-3 with 2:02 remaining. Back out at Mountain Crest with a running clock, and we're under 2 minutes. They're going to turn and hand to Aaron Bell. Aaron Bell Nifty sidestep. Picks up 7. 18 carries, 59 yards for Arambell. See if they just feed him. Ridgeline, a lot of backups in there now. In fact, almost all backups in there on that defense for Ridgeline now. Turn and give it to Arambell again. Arambell has the first down. 5 yards.
That's good enough for another Mustang.
Nine carries in the first half, 10 carries here for him in the second half. Arambell up to 65 yards. He's averaging over 100 a game. Give to Huerta as Arambell lead blocker that time. 2 yards for Huerta.
Number 58, Matthew Allison on the tackle.
127 yards rushing for Ridgeline on the evening. 238 yards passing. 365 yards total offense for Ridgeline. Muir throws it behind Olsen. Olsen was running 9 and Muir's throwing a 5. Clock's running, under 10 seconds. It's a running clock. That's going to be they're not going to get another play off. Now the clock's at all zeros. That's the ball game. Ridgeline comes into Mountain Crest, spoils senior night, puts up 42 on the Mustangs. 42-3, Ridgeline with the win. We'll be back Wednesday night with our final regular season game of the week, Skyview at Green Canyon. We hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast. We'll see you next time on the Game of the Week. Game of the Week on the Valley Channel is brought to you by Wendy's of Cache Valley. It's way better than fast food. It's Wendy's. Cache Valley Hearing and Audiology. Bring back what you have been missing. Aspen Dental. Get that gorgeous smile you've always wanted. Custom Fence Company. Privacy, security, peace of mind. Anderson Seed and Garden. Growing better gardeners. KSM means music. Music is all we do. And the Valley Channel, Cache Valley's TV station for over 30 years.